SABC, host broadcaster of the G20 South Africa 2025.
Well, those are your headlines. Let's get into this hour of the show. It's just after 8 o'clock now. Starting things off, JMPD has cautioned motorists and residents of Johannesburg to prepare for temporary road closures and intermittent traffic disruptions. It comes as multiple law enforcement agencies conduct a joint traffic operation ahead of the G20 Leaders Summit taking place next weekend. The coordinated exercise will take place from today. It's happening from 9 o'clock in the morning up until 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Let's cross back to SABC News reporter Lopang Alamu. We bring you rolling coverage, of course, here on the SABC. Lopang, good morning. We are just under an hour away from that 9 o'clock time where road closures are set to come in, and we saw the preparations that you've been chatting about ahead of that. But now, where are you at this point, and what's transpiring at this hour of the show?
Liesel, we are still in Nasrec. In fact, we tried to get as close as possible to the main venue, but obviously that is not possible at the moment. So just under an hour left until these main roads are closed off. And on our drive around the area, just trying to assess the situation at the moment, traffic is still really moving smoothly. However, we did see a build-up of vehicles. Now, this is because these roads have been merged. Some parts of the road have been closed already. So we've just seen some people making their way up, turning back around to where they come from. But I think just really speaking on the state of readiness, we now be joined by William Baloyi from GCIS. William, thank you so much. You guys have been up since morning. Let's talk about the state of readiness, really.
Lopang, thank you very much. The SABC is the host broadcaster of the G20. Therefore, all the information that is needed, people should follow the SABC, its platforms, but also other media news outlets. So yes, we are ready. We were having a dry run. We have been having it since early in the early hours, and up to thus far, I think we are quite ready. The indications are that everything is ready. However, we want just to make an appeal, especially for residents around the areas that we are doing a dry run, might be also here at Nasrec, also in Sandton and other routes that will be affected as announced, to be patient with us, because what we are doing, we are continuing the tradition of making sure that all the events that we have hosted in this country have gone smoothly, have gone so well. But also want to thank the South Africans, because they are alive to the role that this country plays in the community of nations. So this is one of those. And yes, I know some of them will be inconvenienced. However, we want them to follow the instructions of the law enforcement agencies as they direct them. So wherever you see a uniformed, marked law enforcement agency, please cooperate and take the direction that they are giving to you.
William, when you started speaking, we're talking about where people can get more information pertaining these road closures and anything else G20 related, really. Do you believe that the government tried to inform people timeously? In fact, there was a G20 activation that we covered in Klipfontein a couple of months back, but it doesn't seem as though people at that time understood what the G20 really was. Do you think the government has done enough to inform the people, especially those who will be directly affected by the summit?
Firstly, we had more than 130 G20 related activations in the whole of the country to make sure that we sensitize the people. But secondly, as I've indicated, the public broadcaster, be the SABC, is the host broadcaster, and it has the wider reach of the country, the length and breadth. So that's why we call on people also to follow what the public broadcaster is saying. But also what we have done is to reach out through our own traditional structures of communication. I'm talking about your local government, I'm talking about your provincial government, including, of course, public representatives being what councillors and so forth, to try and sensitize the communities about this important aspect. Yes, the issue of the areas that are affected, that people will be inconvenienced now and then, yes, it's unavoidable. However, that's why we plead with people to follow the direction of the law enforcement agencies, but also to make sure that they are on their news outlets, and they'll get everything, including, of course, on the ground.
Thank you so much, William Baloyi from the Government Communication and Information Systems. So I think we'll leave it here from our side at Nasrec, and as we try and monitor that traffic build-up that's expected to cause some delays, let's just find out from our colleague Calvin Dludla how it's looking that side. We understand he's in Sandton.
Lopang, important question that you posed to William Baloyi from Government Communication Information System known as GCIS, that there are those who are not familiar, don't know what is this G20 Summit, what is it for, why South Africa is hosting G20 Summit. Those are some of the questions that we will also pose in the next hour when we engage with motorists during that road closures. But for now, I have to say that traffic is still flowing. I will step out of shot so that our video journalist Shomla can be able to show you that there are police officers, especially from the metro. I'm talking about the Metro Police. They are still here. They just issued a fine ticket to a taxi driver. When they engaged with him, he did mention that he did not see that the robot was closed for him, saying that he is experiencing some issues, so he was not aware that he had to stop. But unfortunately for him, they had to issue that ticket. Those are some of the things that the police officials here are dealing with, and that they have to be cautious, especially when it comes to taxi operators. In less than an hour, this road that you see will be closed, but you know that the motorists would not have to panic, because there are other alternative routes that they will have to use. Motorists in Fourways can use Main Road, Cedar Road and Vetkopen Road. Within Sandton, Rosebank and Parktown, where we are, people are urged to use side streets parallel to Jan Smuts, Oxford or Rivonia Road, such as Collet Drive, Sandton Drive and 11th Avenue. Those traveling in southern Johannesburg, where Lopang is, that would be Riverlane, Nasrec and Ormond View, can use Chris Hani Road, Main Reef Road, Crownwood Road, Soweto Highway, Edrome Road and Adcock Ingram Road as alternative roads. According to the RTMC, the exercise forms part of their heightened security and traffic management measures in preparation for the high-profile international gathering, which will see an increased movement of motorcades and official delegations across the province. The operation will focus on the city of Johannesburg, targeting high-security corridors and major highways. Roads are expected to be affected, as I have mentioned. But for now, I have to say that the traffic is still flowing. As you can see, officials behind me monitoring the situation. Superintendent Olani Fihla, who spoke with Lopang earlier, is heading here. He will be able to engage with us. Hopefully, we will be able to talk to him during that closure and on our next show, which is the agenda. But for now, because of time, Lizelle, back to you in studio.
Thanks, Calvin. You and Lopang really have been keeping us up to date there. And just under an hour, that official road closure temporarily between 9 and 11 and 1 is going to be happening on some of those roads. And yes, to your point, there are alternative routes available.